Hello everyone. Today we are discussing an important lead code medium problem. Problem number 713, sub-array product less than k. This is an important interview problem, and especially the technique it uses is used to solve a lot of other problems as well, which are regularly asked in interviews for many companies. So if you like today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and check out the entire playlist mentioned in the description below where I've discussed other important interview problems as well. So without wasting any time, let's move on to the question. So you can pause down the video and read out the question statement once for yourself. I hope that you've read the question, and now let's start discussing it. So what the question is asking is that we have to find the number of sub-arrays whose product is less than k. Now what does this product less than k means? That the product of all the elements in that sub-array. Now let's also discuss what a sub-array is. A sub-array is any smaller part of the entire array which is contiguous. So this is a sub-array, right? Similarly, this is a sub-array. This entire array is also a sub-array. We have to find the total number of sub-arrays whose product is less than k. So let's discuss the example here. So you have to find sub-arrays whose products are less than 100. So every single element is a sub-array itself, right? So these are 4 directly because all the elements are less than 100. Now moving on. So 10 into 5 is 50, which is less than 100. So we add 1. Now 10 into 5 into 2 is equal to 100. So this we will not take because we have to find less than k. So we won't take this, right? I'll remove 10 and then I'll go for 5 and 2. 5 and 2 is again simply 10. So I'll add 1 here. So 5 into 2 into 6, 60, and I'll take this also. Now I'll remove 5 and simply 2 and 6 is also a sub-array, which is 12 plus 1. So we can see 4 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. This is equal to 8, which is my answer as well. The output has to be 8. So this is what we have to do in the question. We have to find the total number of sub-arrays whose product is less than k, right? So let's discuss the technique that we are going to use. The technique we are going to use today is called two-pointer technique, right? So what two-pointer technique is that we take two variables or two variables or two pointers, which point to different elements in the array, or sometimes they can overlap as well, right? So let's discuss how will this work. So what I'll start is that let's take an array. So let's discuss this question, right? So if I have an array like this, I'll take two pointers I and j, right? These will point at different instances or different elements at different points, right? So what will I do is that I'll start iterating from here, and I'll take the elements up till the point where the product of the elements is less than 100. If I reach a state where my product exceeds 100 or is equal to 100, I start removing my elements from this side. So suppose I iterate my j and my j reaches here, and at this point I have the product of all the elements from I to j, right? So as long as this is less than 100, I am fine. But as soon as it becomes greater than 100, I'll start removing the elements from this side. That means I'll increment my I and I'll keep my j constant. While this condition is satisfied, my j will increase. And when this condition is satisfied, my I will increase. And when I reach the end of the array, my loop will break, and the final answer we get at that stage will be my answer. So let's try running this technique on this array itself. So let's start doing it, right? So I've taken 10, 5, 2, and 6. So first my I and my j point here, right? So I'll take this 10, so that's 1. Then I increment my j, right? Then I multiply them, it is 50. So what is it now? Is it less than 100 or is it greater than? Is it less than? So I'll take this sub array, right, plus 1. But I'll also take this sub array since I've incremented, so that's plus 1 again. Now I'll take this. So now this becomes equal to 100. So I won't take this entire sub array. I'll remove 10 and I take this sub array, which is plus 1. And I take this sub array also, which is plus 1. How will we take this sub arrays? We'll see in the code part. Right now it's important just to understand the algo. So that's what I'm doing. So I forgot to increment my j, which was here. Now I will increment my j again since the product was less than 100. So I increment my j here. Now I'll take this entire sub array, which is 5, 2, 6, right? So plus 1 for that. And I'll take this sub array 2 and 6, which is plus 1, and I'll take 6 also, which is plus 1 again. So how many times we've added? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So that was my answer. So that is my algo is correct. Now to understand this better, let's move on to the code part. So before moving on to the code part, let me just explain one more thing. So how did I take the subarrays? Was by j minus I plus 1. So this will inculcate for all the subarrays from j to I. So now that we've understood the approach, let's understand the coding part of it. So first of all, I take a variable n, which is storing the number of elements in nums, right, or the size of it. So if it is 0, that is my array is empty. So what does n equal to 0 signify? That array is empty. So when the array is empty, it definitely has no subarrays, and no subarray has a product less than k, right? So I've taken this p. What will p store? The product of the current subarray. Product of the current subarray. So why I've initialized it to 1? Because if I would have taken 0, right? So multiplying 0 with anything is equal to 0. So that is why I've taken 1. So that when I multiply the elements into it, it will give me the multiplication of elements, because 1 star a is equal to a, right? Because of this fact. So I've taken an end variable and a start variable. So this end is equivalent to j in my explanation, and this start is equivalent to I in my explanation. So for this array, end will be ahead of start at most instances, or it will be equal to it, right? So while end is less than n, that is when I reach the end, I have to break the loop. So I'll only run this when my j reach the end of the array. So p multiplies itself and the number at the current end position. So in the beginning, end and start are both at the same position. So this element is multiplied when my e will increment or end will increment, next element will be multiplied, right? So when start is less than equal to end, and while p is greater than equal to k. So while start is less than equal to end, why I have kept this check? So that, see, if I'm at any element, I reach here, right? This is where my end is and this is my start is. After, when I've removed this element also from my product, so my current product again becomes 1. So that means I've reached the initial stage where I initialized p. So now my p has become equal to 1. So that means it is equivalent to saying that this subarray cannot form a product which is less than k. So I'll start afresh from the next element, right? So while this is satisfied, I'll remove the elements. I divide the elements from the start. So as I mentioned in the approach part also, that I'll be removing the elements from the right side. So start is where? Is keeping the check of the current element, leftmost element. So start is keeping the check of the leftmost element. So I'll remove that element, right? And then I increment my start at each step. If p is less than k, that is my current product is less than the required value, I do this end minus start plus 1. This will account for all the sub arrays between my end and start, right? And then I increment my end and then finally return my count, right? So count was initialized to 0, and this is storing the count of the number of sub arrays that satisfy my given condition. So now that we've understood the code as well, let's try and submitting it on LeetCode. So you can see it's the same code, and you can have a look at it again. So it is getting submitted, and yes, this is faster than 90% of solutions. And if you've liked today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and check out the entire playlist mentioned in the description below, where I've discussed other important interview questions as well. So thank you for joining. Keep learning and keep coding. Thank you.